This is my true story about when I met my dad's girlfriend for the first time. Okay, how do I start? Maybe we could just make it so that my family don't see this. I'm visiting my dad in Sydney. He's got this new girlfriend that he's been like talking about. Apparently she's super cool. She's got a motorbike. They seem super happy. And I've just landed. I'm like walking out. I just like see him and he's jumping up and down because he's mental as a person. And she is not excited at all. She looked like she's just found out about me existing. I'm gonna be honest. I judged her immediately and it was a no from me. I have to say, I was 15. Everything I wanted to do, she wanted to do the opposite of. First night in, I'm like, yes, I can't wait for salmon. Actually, Margot's got something else planned. The only way I can describe it was just some sort of brown salad. Also, like, I wanted to do things that were tacky, teenage, basic, dumb stuff. Like, I wanted to get a spray-on tattoo of like a Batman logo. And she was like, no, we're not doing that. We're gonna go for a walk. One time something cool did actually happen. Well, not cool. She was like, should we go and visit the Coke factory? And I was like, yes. I love Coca-Cola. She apparently worked at the Coke factory. And then I get out of the car and that's when I learned that Coke is a form of coal. It's a type of rock. And she was an engineer at a rock factory. And every time I'd like challenge it and be like, Dad, can we actually not go and do something extremely boring that I really don't want to do? He'd be like, just quiet about it. Obviously, Margot and I, it's not working. We're not getting on. Then I go to the bathroom and I realize that I've got my period. And remember, I'm like 15. I totally forgot to bring tampons with me. I'm actually genuinely scared, like, how am I gonna get a tampon? I realize that because Margot lives here, you know what? There might be some tampons in this bloody bathroom. Honestly, fingers crossed. Honestly, my heart just like exploded with joy. It's every single kind of tampon you could ever imagine. And in Australia and New Zealand, the tampon game there, unbelievable, the choices. They're so cool. They're all in different packaging. You get ones that are like pink, black, and grey, like punk tampons. There's one that in a little case and you open it and honestly just like smoke comes out. There's Swarovski. This woman has money, man. She has every single type of tampon you could like ever imagine. So my mind went from not really finding kind of joy in her personality to suddenly I'm like, Margot, yes girl, like you did it. She finally had my back. And I genuinely left that bathroom feeling so good. Every time I looked at Margot, I didn't even mind her anymore. I was like happy to chat to her. I'd walk out and be like, what's going on, Margot? You want to talk? She talked to me about all kinds of stuff that I found super boring, but I listened to all of it. Sat down next to her and she was something like blah, blah, blah rocks, something blah, blah, blah stones, something graphite. And I'm like, oh, cool. I have to admit, I really kind of dived right in to the free tampon scenario here. I literally went back to that bathroom. Every time the conversation got a little bit too boring with Margot, I'd be like, just 1 second. Go back to the bathroom, try out a new tampon. The Swarovski one, I have to say, a little bit uncomfortable. And I genuinely went to sleep that night just like feeling good. I was like, you know what? Margot ain't that bad. At the end of the day, we've got one thing in common and women got to stick together, you know? She could be my girl. So the next morning rolls round. I'm excited to start this day. You know, I've used one of her just wonderful nighttime tampons. Never felt more comfortable in my life. Go to the bathroom, get a nice new shiny tampon, and I walk into the lounge and like everything just shifts. The vibe is so off suddenly and I'm like, what's going on? She's made a cup of coffee, but she's like just death stirring. And Dad's like sat in the corner, just honestly the furthest away from her you could ever sit in that room. And he kind of looks up from the couch and he's like, Alice, we need to talk. So we get in his car and he like looks over to me and he's like, so Alice, and I'm just like, spit it out. What is this? And he's like, you've been stealing tampons. That was honestly the last thing I could ever imagine coming out of his mouth at that point. I think I just said, what the fuck? What are you talking about? Stealing tampons? He was like, we know. And I'm like, oh, there's been a discussion. And he like leans over and he goes, she wants you to buy her some replacement tampons. Before I could even spit out the fuck you I wanted to spit out, he went, but don't worry, I'm not gonna make you do that. And I was like, really? I'm gonna pay for them. I'm gonna pay for them myself. And he literally was like, number one dad, you paying for the tampons I've stolen doesn't fix any of this. And he was like, how much are tampons these days? $50. A packet of tampons costs $50. And he was like, does it? I was like, yeah, honestly, misogyny. And I was like, thanks, I'll just see what I can get when I'm in there. And I go straight into the supermarket, get the cheapest possible packet of tampons you've ever seen in your life, pay for them, get them in a bag, get in the car, give my dad the tampons. And he's like, well, thank you. And I keep the change, all $48.50 of it, because I thought it was really important that he learn a lesson in what stealing actually looks like.